Welcome back to Nikki Scoops. If you're a crime enthusiast, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as I upload new content 3 times a week. The first stop is Charlotte, North Carolina. I will briefly discuss the murder case of tow truck driver Greer. Greer was a young, devoted father to 2 young children and was tragically shot down while doing the job he loved. Let's dive into the details. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg police have apprehended a suspect in Orange County, Texas, accused of the murder of a tow truck driver. The family of the victim, Greer, informed Channel 9's Hunter Science that Greer was merely performing his duties when he was slain. At 25 years old, Greer was a father to a 5-year-old child and an infant. He was intelligent and had a passion for cars, his mother, Tamara Greer, stated. The job he held, that he used to hold, he adored it. He was fond of his work in towing. Tamara Greer, the bereaved mother, shared these words with Science during a phone conversation. I really don't know how I'm going to cope with this, she said. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. The team at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, tasked with tracking the city's most violent offenders, was on the hunt for 34-year-old Ramon Alexis Santos Funes, suspected of aiding in the murder. CMPD Homicide Sergeant Eduardo Quevedo reported that on September 26th, Greer was discovered deceased from gunshot wounds in the driver's seat of his tow truck at an apartment complex on East Crest Drive in East Charlotte. Greer's mother informed Science that his girlfriend was on the call with him just before his death and overheard people speaking to him in Spanish. The final thing she heard was him stating he was about to drop the car, indicating he had already hoisted the vehicle, his mother recounted. The call then dropped. It appears he was simply a young man performing his job, and he did not deserve this, stated Sergeant Quevedo. On that day, CMPD reported the arrest of Fabio Herminio Funes, age 49, who was charged with first-degree murder following an interview with detectives. The following day, detectives sought assistance in locating his brother, later identified as Ramon Funes. We believe there are individuals who have information they haven't shared, stated Sergeant Quevedo, just hours before it was announced that Ramon Funes had been apprehended. Is urging anyone with knowledge of Ramon Funes's whereabouts to come forward, as it may bring closure to Greer's family. Do the right thing, implored Greer's mother. Wrong is wrong, and right is right. Science discovered that Ramon Funes hailed from Honduras. He inquired with the police about the likelihood of Funes having fled back to his home country. The police acknowledged this as a possibility, but affirmed their intent to incarcerate him. A reward of $5,000 was offered for information resulting in an arrest. If you have any knowledge regarding this matter, please contact Crime Stoppers at 704-334-1600. In Los Angeles, California, A purse snatcher tried to rob a woman outside a local bank, but was thwarted by brave bystanders. It's shocking how some people think it's acceptable to steal from others. We work tirelessly to achieve our goals, and standing our ground is the only response I deem appropriate. So let's take action. A video recorded a horrifying incident where an elderly woman was dragged on the ground by a purse snatcher in the Hacienda Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles County. The brutal robbery occurred on a Monday afternoon outside the Bank of America, located at the intersection of Azusa Avenue and Pepperbrook Way. Video captured at the scene shows a male thief dragging the 75-year-old victim by the arm as he attempts to steal her purse. After dragging the woman across the parking lot, the thief finally yanks the purse from her before fleeing the scene. The woman remains on the ground while bystanders chase the assailant away. The event has deeply disturbed the community. "It's frightening to witness such an event," Jose Rafoya, a resident, expressed. "It could be your relative, your grandmother. I visit this place with my wife and child, and the uncertainty is alarming. You open the door, and there's a chance someone could enter wielding a knife or a gun. It's quite terrifying." The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is conducting an investigation into the incident, stating that the victim is recuperating from scrapes and bruises sustained during the assault. "It's quite disheartening," remarked Nick Liang, a resident of the area. "I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Having been robbed myself, I understand the distress of losing personal belongings. It's an unpleasant experience." It remains uncertain if the suspect was armed. However, authorities emphasize that no material possession justifies risking one's life. The incident in Hacienda Heights is part of a recent series of robberies, which includes a case where a woman was stabbed by assailants outside Dottie's Flowers in Reseda. The 40-year-old victim was hospitalized, and the perpetrator of that crime has been apprehended. "It's shocking because it happened in broad daylight," Rafael Contreras, a local resident, expressed. "Usually you hear about such crimes happening at night, but now it's happening in the middle of the day. There's a market nearby, children around, and businesses. It's insane." Over the weekend, a group of nearly 50 robbers looted a Nordstrom store at the Westfield Topanga Mall, stealing merchandise valued at over $300,000. During the incident, a security guard was also assaulted with bear spray. The surge in these aggressive robberies has left the local community feeling anxious and fearful of becoming victims themselves. "Sadly, I sense that crime is spiraling out of control," Liang remarked. "I hope the woman can overcome her ordeal." LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn issued a statement. "The perpetrator's brutality and lack of compassion in the video are appalling. After speaking with Sheriff Robert Luna today, I am assured that he and his department are fully committed to apprehending this individual. The suspect involved in the purse snatching is still at large. Those with further information should contact the LASD's industry station at 626-330-3322. Domestic violence has tragically taken the life of a young woman whose only wish was to find happiness. It is a grave misfortune that her life was sacrificed because someone else could not let go. The rejection of affection can lead to the ultimate loss, stemming from another's inability to move on. A 25-year-old man has received his sentence following his conviction for the shooting death of his ex-girlfriend nearly 2 years prior, as reported by the district attorney's office. Darren Hicks was found guilty by a DeKalb County jury on charges of malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Hicks has been sentenced to life imprisonment with an additional 5 years for the murder of 19-year-old Janautica Whitehead. The event occurred on November 25, 2022, when Hicks trailed his former girlfriend, Whitehead, en route to her job. He repeatedly called her until she stopped her vehicle. Hicks subsequently fired 2 shots at Whitehead's head from a close distance, the district attorney's office reported. Whitehead's body was not discovered by officers until the following day, upon responding to a report of a car located in a wooded area off Snapfinger Parkway containing a woman's body, as stated in a press release. Investigators discovered that Whitehead had enrolled in college and was attempting to distance herself from Hicks, her former high school boyfriend. Prosecutors added that Hicks became increasingly violent and controlling. Months before Whitehead was killed, Hicks allegedly hit and strangled her and threatened to shoot her. The district attorney's office added that just 2 weeks before she was killed, Hicks showed up at her job, lured her to the parking lot, strangled her, and chased her with a gun. Hicks was not apprehended until several weeks following the fatal shooting on December 17, 2022.
Young Jathan Escobar laughed and smiled often, despite being surrounded by violence. That's according to his family, showing support outside the hospital today, wearing shirts with Jathan's handprint on them.
It just hurts us to see that he had to go through such type violence.
Sasha Heron is Jathan's cousin, claiming Yale New Haven Hospital has declared him brain dead.
He has no blood flow to his head. The blood's not flowing past his head, and there's no his heart is beating off of medicine, as what they're telling us, and he's on a ventilator to keep breathing.
Jathan, his younger brother Eli, and their mother were allegedly attacked by this man, convicted felon Abdul Rahim Suleiman, their stepfather and the woman's husband. The family telling us it was a horrific act of domestic violence.
I knew that he was hitting her because she would tell me, and I knew that he threatened to kill her and the kids.
Sandra Escobar adding the family had called the Department of Children and Families about Suleiman's violence impacting Jathan and Eli. DCF wouldn't confirm, but tell us the department, along with Bridgeport Police, are investigating. Jathan described today as a beautiful soul.
He was always so happy, and he just enjoyed life altogether. No matter what was going on, he was just always so happy with everybody.
Despite being on life support and prosecutors claiming in court last week that Jathan has close to a 0% chance of survival, the family is holding out hope.
We are religious, and we do believe that he can come back with a miracle.
Okay, everyone, we're on our way to Bridgeport, Connecticut. I was hesitant to discuss this case because the involvement of young children is particularly distressing. However, considering domestic violence is a harsh reality for many, I want to reach out personally and assure you that you are not alone. Please seek help immediately, as no one should live in fear of protecting themselves and their loved ones. A Connecticut man is accused of a brutal attack on his 2 young stepsons and his wife that has reportedly left her 6-year-old child brain dead. Abdul Rahim Suleiman, 38, from Bridgeport, is facing multiple charges, among them 3 counts of attempted murder, according to online court records. Jathan Escobar, 6, is on life support and has been declared brain dead as a result of the attack, his family told local outlet. The family is holding out hope for a miracle. He was always such a joyful child, said Sasha Heron, Jathan's cousin. Shortly before 10 a.m. on Wednesday, September 23rd, a call was made to 911, a plea for urgent assistance. "Please help us," the mother of the 2 young boys yelled, as banging could be heard in the background, according to an incident report obtained. "He's hitting us with a bat." Shortly thereafter, Suleiman was reportedly caught on surveillance footage, leaping from an upper-level window and plunging headfirst into a trash dumpster, followed by him brandishing the bat, according to the report. The report alleges that an officer observed Suleiman muttering to himself, his hands and arms stained with blood, leading to his arrest. Inside the apartment, the woman, who was bleeding and had a hole in her head near her eye, cradled Jathan, who was bleeding profusely. While performing CPR on Jathan, officers said they could see visible brain matter in a hole on the top of his head, the report alleges. The 2 young boys, along with their mother, were quickly taken to local hospitals. Subsequently, Both children were airlifted to the Pediatric Emergency Center at Yale New Haven Hospital in New Haven. Jathan's 4-year-old brother's condition has been upgraded to stable, and he is expected to make a recovery. However, for Jathan, the likelihood of survival for this individual is close to zero, Assistant State's Attorney Craig Nowak stated in court, according to local station Fox 61. Jathan died Wednesday, a week after being critically injured in what police called a violent domestic attack. After suffering unimaginable pain and losing his life due to a brutal and senseless act, he leaves behind a legacy of hope for others, Jathan's Aunt Ana Escobar stated. His heart, full of love, will beat on, and his light will continue to shine through the lives he saves. Though we are shattered, we honor his strength, innocence, and the selfless act that will help others live. Sulaiman, a convicted felon, is also charged with 3 counts of first-degree assault, 2 counts of risk of injury to a child, and criminal possession of a firearm. A prosecutor said during a court appearance last week that one of the attempted murder charges would be upgraded to murder with special circumstances, which carries the penalty of life in prison without the possibility of parole. He faces additional charges for allegedly assaulting a judicial marshal and spitting blood on another, as per court documents. His bond is set at $10 million. A GoFundMe campaign was created by the boy's Aunt Anna. If you are facing domestic violence, contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-7973 or visit thehotline.org. The service is confidential, toll-free, and operates 24/7, offering assistance in over 170 languages. We are checking into the Rosabelle Motel in Los Angeles, California. Here lies a precious little boy named Diego Jones, who was assaulted by his own father only because he accidentally stumbles over a game controller. How can a father act so childishly? Who does such a thing? It's quite unfortunate, to say the least. I am satisfied with his sentencing and hope he receives the appropriate consequences for his actions behind those prison walls. With that being said, let's delve into the story.
Kai, thank you. Breaking news out of South Los Angeles this morning. The father of the toddler who was found unresponsive in a motel room and later died has been arrested. 23-year-old Shane Flowers is facing a felony charge. This comes after paramedics found his 18-month-old son, Diego Alexander Jones, at the Rosabelle Motel yesterday. Diego later died at the hospital. The boy's mother claims Flowers confessed to hitting Diego after he tripped over a video game controller.
I feel like he told me that he didn't think he hit him that hard for him to pass away. And I kept telling him, stop hitting my son. And every time I told him to stop, I got the outcome. I was getting beat up. If you guys are in an abusive relationship, I advise you to leave. Because this is the outcome. I got my baby gone because of him.
Flowers' bail has been set at $100,000. A coroner's examination will ultimately determine the charges that are likely to be filed against.
Diego Alexander Jones, the infant son of Shane Zachary Flowers, was reportedly discovered at the Rosabelle Motel in Los Angeles. Shane Zachary Flowers, a 23-year-old father, was apprehended by the Torrance Police Department and subsequently booked by the Los Angeles Police Department on suspicion of child abuse leading to death, following allegations that his actions resulted in the fatality of his infant child. Diego Alexander Jones, the 18-month-old son of Flowers, was reportedly discovered at the Rosabelle Motel in South Los Angeles. Upon arrival Tuesday morning, police found the infant unresponsive and not breathing. According to Fox 11, he was taken to the hospital in a state of medical distress and was declared deceased upon arrival. Rihanna Jones, the baby's mother, stated that Jones stumbled over Flowers' video game controller at the motel. She said he then punched the child, causing him to fall and hit his head. "He told me that he didn't think he hit him that hard for him to pass away," Jones told the station. "And I kept telling him stop hitting my son, and every time I told him to stop, I got the outcome. I was getting beat up." Jones said that Flowers admitted to killing his son and said she gave police information that led them to Flowers. "If you are in an abusive relationship, I advise you to leave. This is what happened to me. I lost my baby because of him," Jones stated, according to KTLA. Conan Daily reports that Flowers has a history of arrests. The publication claims he was apprehended in August 2016 for car theft, in November 2017 for assault, in September 2019 for illegal firearm possession, and in April for second-degree domestic assault. Flowers' bail is currently set at $100,000. Today's final stop is Greenwich, a district in southeast London, England. We're addressing the stark realities of domestic violence and manipulation. I will briefly discuss the case of Carl Cooper, an individual who tragically failed to move on, resulting in 2 women losing their lives. Ladies, it's crucial to be cautious while dating, and being single is perfectly fine too. Now, let's proceed with the details of this case. A man has been sentenced to 35 years in prison for the murder of 2 former partners, both of whom had expressed fear of him and had lodged complaints with the police regarding his violence. Carl Cooper, 66, had relationships with Naomi Hunter, 41, who was fatally stabbed, and Fiona Holm, 48, who remains missing. Hunter was discovered deceased on her blood-stained sofa with a chest stab wound, and Holm vanished on June 20th, 2023. After 3 days of deliberation, a Woolwich Crown Court jury convicted the defendant on 2 counts of murder, imposing a life sentence with a minimum of 35 years at Woolwich Crown Court. Mr. Justice Johnson stated on Tuesday, "I am convinced that for many years you have posed a significant threat to women." He further remarked, "Your history reveals a pattern of controlling and coercive behavior towards your female partners. Ms. Hunter had made previous complaints to police about your controlling, coercive behavior. Ms. Holm had also made a previous complaint to police about your behavior. She had also complained to friends that you had stabbed her with a screwdriver." The trial revealed that Hunter had made several domestic calls to the police regarding her home in 2020 and 2021, during which she reported that handyman Cooper was obsessed with her. 29th June 2021, during a police visit to her residence, she expressed to the officers that Cooper was stalking me and I'm really scared now. A post-mortem examination found the cause of death to be a stab wound to the chest, while she had also drunk alcohol and taken drugs including cocaine and cannabis. Her blood was later found on 3 different areas of Cooper's jacket and on a knife with a serrated blade, which resembled a steak knife. Holm, from Catford in southeast London, had lodged complaints against Cooper with the police. Scotland Yard has since announced a £20,000 reward for information leading to the discovery of Holm's remains, describing Cooper as a dangerous, violent domestic abuser who targets vulnerable women. Following Holm's disappearance, Cooper set fires and undertook a comprehensive redecoration of his living room, which involved removing wallpaper, cutting out net curtains, and taking away a rug, as prosecutor Joel Smith informed the jury. Following the verdict, Detective Chief Inspector Kate Blackburn from the Met's Specialist Crime Command stated, "Carl Cooper is a perilous and violent domestic abuser who targets vulnerable women. He has taken the lives of two lively, sociable women who were deeply loved by their families and friends. Today, my thoughts are with Naomi and Fiona. Blackburn, who noted that Cooper had gone to great lengths to eliminate any traces of Holmes' blood from his apartment, offered her respects to both women's families. She stated, "They have endured the court proceedings and listened to the most harrowing details about the deaths of women they cherish deeply. The pain they will continue to endure is beyond my comprehension. While it is a relief that he will be incarcerated where he cannot harm women, my deepest regret remains that there was not enough evidence to charge him sooner." Thank you for watching until the end of my video. Your loyalty as a viewer is greatly appreciated. Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comment section below on any of these videos. I enjoy interacting with my audience, so don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. See ya in the next video.